Hi, I'm Andy Sear. I'm the Director of Strategic Communications and Constituent Engagement for the Office of Alumni Relations here at the University of Utah. I want to welcome you to our monthly networking and careers panel discussion. It's part of our weekly U Alumni Speaker Series. So today's discussion is entitled Up Your Game, Advance Your Career with Professional and Executive Education Courses. So we find ourselves constantly in a new situation with the COVID-19 pandemic. Some companies are thriving, but many employers are struggling. Hiring has been put on hold. Some organizations have had layoffs, others have shut down entirely. Unemployment peaked, like 23 million back in April. And it was down to about 16 million in July, but just by contrast, we were below 6 million back in February. So businesses are changing and they're looking for new skills. And also, if you can look at it as a silver lining, sometimes unemployment or a furlough can be a time that gives some people to retool. So no matter what your current employment situation is, and with how everything is shifting, both people and organizations are having to be nimble. And this is an opportune time to look at retooling, to upping your game, so to speak. So today, without any further ado, I want to introduce you to our guests, who are Lauren Anderson and Brooke Lenzen. And Lauren Anderson is the Senior Director of Professional Education and Personal Enrichment in the U's Division of Continuing Education. Lauren is a lifelong learner. She has her JD from Gonzaga University School of Law, a BA from American University, and several hours of continuing ed credits from various institutions, including, of course, the U. And since 2016, Lauren has overseen the U's lifelong learning program, the Go Learn Travel program, and the Osher Lifelong Learning Institute. In 2019, she took on leadership of the Professional Education program. So from watercolors, gardening, politics, managing generational diversity, handling feedback and expectations, Lauren is always learning. So Lauren, can you please unmute and say hello to our audience?
Hi, everyone. Thanks for that great introduction, Andy.
You are welcome. Glad you're here, Lauren.
Thanks for having me.
And our other guest today is Brooke Lenzen, and she's the Assistant Manager for Executive Education in the David Eccles School of Business. For the past 3 years, Brooke has run all major events for their department, worked hand in hand with the faculty to develop courses, strategy for her department. Brooke's current focus is on the development of new programs, including executive education's online offerings. So she is also specialized in creating custom programs for major Fortune 500 organizations. And Brooke, by the way, received her undergrad degree here at the U, and she is actually beginning her graduate degree in instructional design and educational technology this fall, so right now. She's passionate about learning, and she's passionate about the U and the future of executive education. So Brooke, please say hello.
Hello, everyone. So happy to be here today with Lauren and Andy.
Thanks, Brooke. So our format today, it's a simple question and answer session. And I urge those of you who are watching on YouTube Live, please ask questions using the chat function, and we'll get to those questions whenever we can. But please send in your questions. I have several questions I want to start off with just to get us going. So actually, Lauren, I'm going to start with you. Right. And can you tell everyone just a little bit about where you work, how your program works, within the greater context of the university? Tell us about continuing ed.
Absolutely. So continuing education at the University of Utah is non-credit, low cost and affordable trainings and classes for the community. So you don't need to be enrolled as a student. You just need to find something that you love in our course catalog and sign up and take classes. So as Andy said in his intro of me, we do professional training. So we have classes on how to be a good manager, also how to manage a project. We have classes on instructional design, but they're all non-credit and they're short-term skill-based classes. They don't build towards a degree, but they introduce you to skills so that you may be interested in pursuing more education through a degree program here at the University of Utah.
Okay, no, that's great. It's helpful because I think, continuing education is very big, but within that there's professional education, which is important, but it's also important to contrast it with executive education, which is what Brooke is here to tell us about. So Brooke, can you tell us about executive education at the David Eccles School of Business?
Yeah, absolutely. So the executive education at the business school, it's for anyone who's searching to continue to learn, to continue to develop their leadership skills and their managerial skills as well. We generally partner with companies for individuals to come to our open enrollment classes, where you'll get a variety of people from multiple different companies and be able to continue to grow and build your network. But we also will do custom programs for companies where we'll go in and analyze what that company really needs and design a course for them based on those needs. Similar to Lauren, we are non-credit, and we have a variety of course offerings from effective teens, conflict, Lean Six Sigma, Green Belt, ethics and moral principles, diversity, inclusion. So a wide offering, and it's all housed within the David Eccles School of Business, utilizing professors and people that are out there doing the work themselves, and being able to bring in that real life experience.
Okay, well, that's great. Thank you. Now I have a question. This is a question for both of you, but I'll start with Brooke. What are you seeing as some of the most marketable skills right now? What seems to be, a way to kind of sell yourself in the marketplace?
Yeah, definitely. Well, we're in a time of uncertainty, as we all know, and we're probably hearing that again and again, uncertain times. When are we going to get out of these times? The best thing that some popular things that we have seen is people really want to take initiative, show their companies why they're great employees and how they can continue to develop their companies and themselves as leaders during this uncertain time. So we see a lot of our leadership courses, our emotional intelligence courses being popular, but specifically Lean Six Sigma Green Belt. We have it for non-manufacturing and manufacturing. And the reason that's so incredible is it shows you and gives you tools on how to save your company money and help the bottom line. And so you'll actually have to do a project, and that project, on average, roughly when someone gets their green belt, they're saving their company $30,000+ just with one project alone. But those skills are so valuable and will be put towards more projects. The last thing that I would say is really popular right now is our diversity inclusion. Those skills are being seen with everything going on in the news. Those skills are being seen as necessary skills for leaders and especially managers within organizations.
Yeah, no, those are obviously both very popular subjects right now, and I know that a lot of companies are really seeing the advantages of training their folks in Six Sigma and really driving efficiency into the organization. So so Lauren, same question. What in professional education point of view, what are you seeing? What are the hot skills in the marketplace?
Yeah, absolutely. So for us, we're seeing a lot of people looking to pivot. And so they're coming to us thinking, maybe now's the time to pursue this career in healthcare I've always wondered about. So maybe it's time for me to get some training and become a medical assistant or become a pharmacy technician. And so they're coming and they're getting the skills they need to qualify for an externship and a certification test for those medical fields. And that was happening before coronavirus, but certainly with coronavirus, more people are paying attention to healthcare and how they can help. And then we're also seeing increases in cybersecurity and coding and instructional design, as we all realize what we need to do online and how we could be safer in this online world that we all exist in now, and how we could learn more and be an asset to our company, as Brooke mentioned, by understanding some basic coding, some understanding of data management, and then also getting involved in instructional design for maybe trainings for our small office. So we used to train face-to-face, now we've got to train online. So how can I use instructional design tools to do that?
Yeah, no, I know that coding is very popular. How long does it take? What's the average course length for that? Do you have any of those very intensive courses, or how do you do the coding?
Yep, ours are all intensive. So there's a part-time boot camp that we offer in the evening, and then there's a full-time boot camp. Our part-time boot camp is 24 weeks. So it's intensive, you're in a cohort, and you're working with instructors through set curriculum on a regular basis. So good commitment.
Yeah, no, that's good. Good to know that. So, Brooke, I was going to ask you about courses within executive education that are designed to help someone advance in their current organization. Obviously, like Six Sigma sounds like it is. Do you have anything else? You kind of mentioned about leadership. I think, when somebody's in a company that's doing okay, but they just want to move up, do you have any courses that are specifically designed for that?
Yeah, absolutely. So it all, we kind of take the approach that you're gonna get what you put into it, right? So the more that you continue to network, grow your skills, do more than just the assignments, really take advantage of your overall experience, you're going to get out of it. So our women's leadership program, we have a women's leadership program and a certificate program, is an example of some of the success that we've had with it. We've had people get different jobs from the network they've built with their cohort. But in addition, in 2019, in our women's leadership program, the women that all graduated from the women's leadership program, 10 of them received promotions within the program. And so it's that hopefully shows the success of what they're learning. And it was even something that was so remarkable that the CEO reached out to us to let them know that they were happy they invested in their employees in their employees' leadership journey, but they also were able to receive the return on their investment. And that's what employees and the employer want to see, is how am I going to get my return on my investment? So really across the board, I think courses will help you grow. Leadership is the focus of all of our courses, even in Lean Six Sigma Green Belt, where you wouldn't think is leadership oriented. How can you be a leader and utilize these skills with people within your department and within your overall organization?
Yeah, no, that's interesting, because we've had in some of our past virtual events, we've had panel discussions with our career coaches, and one of the themes they come back to and over again, whether you're investing in a career coach or a class or whatever it is you're doing, is how important is it to invest in yourself, that you actually need to commit that time and resource to actually invest in your own skills, and how you do get a return on that investment. And I think that was a discussion I know we had the other day, and Lauren, you brought that up, specific examples of the ROI of some classes where people can come back to you and say, hey, I was making this, now I'm making this. I was doing this, now I'm doing that. Do you have anything like that to share, just examples?
Yeah, so I mean, in our cases, you could be going from a career where you're making middle income $40,000, and you invest in yourself. You take a training and suddenly you're able to take on a coding job where you're making $50,000 or $60,000. And so you take this time and you invest in yourself, and you can change careers. You can go from teaching to coding, and there's high demand for these fields where the companies are just willing to pay you more. So it is important to invest in yourself, and then it's important to take the leadership classes that Brooke's talking about too, because as you want to improve in your career, you need to learn how to take feedback, give expectations, and manage expectations, and those are all great leadership skills to learn in these classes.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's a great example. I wondered too, I wanted to talk a little bit about cost, because obviously that's on a lot of people's minds, and particularly if you're unemployed at the moment. And I know that the courses that both of you offer, vary widely in price. I mean, I think I've seen everything from free to $100 to many thousands, depending on what you want to do. And obviously, an MBA is a very big investment. But for Brooke, what are ways to pay for some of these courses, particularly the bigger degree programs? But if I'm looking at something I'm very interested in, what are some of my options for being able to afford some of these investments?
Yeah, absolutely. So first I'll talk about executive education, which is non-degree focused courses, which is what we've been mostly talking about. So we have some great scholarship opportunities that are available on our website if you're looking to have, to receive a scholarship. The one great reason to go through that option even is we can come back to you, and a lot of the times we'll talk to someone who applied for a scholarship and say, hey, we actually partner with your company. Did you know you have professional development dollars that you could utilize? Let me show you where that resource is. Or if it's someone, that in a nonprofit or someone that doesn't have that option, then and we have scholarship funding for them, then offering them that as well. We do also have resources online on how to ask your boss for professional development dollars. I will say I've utilized them myself and they seem to work. I don't know if my boss knows I've used them, but they work. So that's definitely an option as well. It's definitely something, I think the thing is it never hurts to ask. The worst you could hear is no. And the other thing is that something that's also valuable is your time. So if your company is not able to give you financial support, maybe they're willing to give you the time off to take some of those courses. So that's something to consider as well. Now, going to the degree side, there are a ton of scholarship opportunities. We have 4 different MBA programs at the University of Utah. We have our full-time MBA program where you quit your job, go back to school for 2 years. Most of those students, over 50%, receive full scholarship, but most of those students are receiving a significant scholarship for their time invested. And then additionally, we have our 3 other part-time programs. We have our professional MBA, which is night classes a couple times a week for 2 years. Our online MBA, which is very popular this year. And that is, self-paced on, not completely self-paced, but online completely. And then we also have our executive MBA, which is really focused on that cohort for individuals generally that are a little bit later in their career that really want that networking experience as well. And all of those professors are that teach in that program are hand selected by the dean of the business school. So really all the programs, the most important thing is to, reach out, go to mba.utah.edu, ask the questions, find out what program's right for you by talking to one of our staff members to really find out what's best for you. But in addition, knowing more about your circumstances will allow us to find out what type of funding could be available to you, if not through the University of Utah, through other sources that are available as well.
Okay, no, that's excellent information. And I know, Lauren, you told me about some new programs that kind of are on the opposite end of the spectrum in terms of cost that are actually even approaching free, right? I think it's a special program going on right now because of COVID, right?
That's correct. Yeah, because of COVID, we have some funding through university or through institutes of higher education here in the state of Utah. And we're able to offer instructional design, our coding for data management, and Excel classes for free for legal residents in the state of Utah who have been affected by COVID. So individuals who are underemployed or unemployed. And so we are able to offer those. Most of them are starting in the month of September, but will run through the end of the year. And so those are free. There'll probably be some more that start to come out as we're able to open up some other trainings in the medical field and the computing field. And then we've got most of our classes run from $200 to $300. So it's an affordable program, even when you think, I just need to spend a few hours and understand this part of my job better, or get this skill to help me be a better manager or set my eye on being a manager.
No, that's good. Well, Lauren, if there was one course that your continuing ed offers, that professional ed offers, what would it be that you think that an employer is most likely to pay for? Is there one that kind of stands out?
Oh my goodness, that is so hard. Okay, I
Trick
think.
question.
Well, yeah, it's like choosing your favorite child. I think probably project management. So project management is one of those things that crosses all industries. There's a certification exam. And so this is something that I've invested in my employees to take project management and better understand how they can manage the projects that are given to them and move forward in their careers. But I'm also going to say we have a great medical assistance program that you wouldn't find anywhere else, where you get to do lab work at UHealth. And so that would be a great one too.
No, I've heard good things about that program. So how about there's a question COVID related, and you've already kind of both spoken to it, but are most of the classes online right now? What's happening? Are there hybrid classes? What have you had to shift a lot online? Lauren, go ahead if you want to answer.
Professional education is completely online. We are not meeting face-to-face right now. So we're completely online through the fall term.
Yeah. You know, with some of our custom programs where we're working just with a company, some of those are still in person, very social distance. You know, we're basically working on football fields, spacing everyone out correctly. But what we're doing is we're doing online. So we have self-paced online offerings where you go through the material yourself at your own pace. And then we have blended where we have some self-paced material, and then others that are synchronous class, and then it's partially synchronous classes as well, where you get that face time with the professor and your cohort to build that network of individuals. So it's online, but it's a blended online format that we're offering right now for our open enrollment offerings.
Okay, great. I do have a question that just came in on the chat a little bit ago. Actually, it says, so do you feel there are certain skills that are specifically valuable in landing a better position here in the University of Utah setting? So obviously this must be a university employee. I think we have a few watching today, and welcome. But anything that you tell your friends or associates that you think is a great course if you're a U employee?
I can start. So there's two that come to mind right away. One is managing generational diversity. What I love about being at the University of Utah is that we have people of all ages and all backgrounds that are here. And so the class really focuses on, you know, how do you relate and communicate and set expectations as an older or younger manager with varied teams. And another one that we have is feedback and expectations and delegation. And I think those are all things we work really collaboratively here at the University of Utah. And so being able to give feedback, manage expectations, and delegate is always really important.
Yeah, those both sound like excellent choices. Now, Brooke, do you have anything that you would recommend for a U employee?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think of what, you know, Dr. Ruth Watkins really values, and her value in leadership, but specifically diversity inclusion, like Lauren was talking about. So we have a diversity inclusion certificate in there. It also includes leading across generations, because we do have a wide variety of people on our teams. You know, we could be working with an 18-year-old that's still in college, and then we could also be working with someone that's closer to retirement. And so that's a great course. But diversity inclusion is what such a key value of the university. And so I would really focus for that individual, focus on what the values of the university, because you're going to see that in all the departments, is those values will be passed down. Additionally, Lean Six Sigma Green Belt and our Lean Six Sigma Black Belt, that's just so crucial, because we are a state organization. We always want ways to save money, and you know, we want the quality to stay the same, but we want to be able to save money. And so that adds a lot of value. And you see that on a resume, you know, having certificates on resumes, Lean Six Sigma Green Belt, diversity inclusion, those really add a lot of value to you when you're searching for a job. And so I think you'll see that when you're going to look for jobs at the U. Good luck. You've got this.
No, that's good. That's helpful. Well, speaking of that, so of seeing things on people's resumes, one of the things I find interesting are about certifications is, you know, the idea of digital badges, and just when you have a profile on LinkedIn or our alumni platform. I'm doing a plug for it right now, Alumni Fire, specifically for you alums. But people will create profiles, and particularly interested on LinkedIn because I'll see these badges that people will have about courses they took at the U. And is that something, tell me a little bit, maybe either one of you, but maybe Lauren, I know we've talked about it, about digital badges and what's, the significance of that, and have those become popular?
Yes, so digital badges are very popular. I think the programs that Brooke and I both have that have digital badging, we have some of the highest claim rates of digital badges that people have seen across the country. So people use these badges and they visualize what you've mastered and learned in the classes. So it's a snapshot in time of you took this class, here's what you learned, here's what you mastered, and then you can put it on your LinkedIn profile, a Facebook page, you can share it digitally. So instead of it just existing as a piece of paper that hangs in your office, it can be out there attached to your LinkedIn profile if a recruiter's looking, or if somebody's looking at you because you've applied for another job or a promotion.
Yeah, excellent. Now I have a question about nonprofits. You probably have some people watching who work for nonprofits, and I was wondering if either of you have courses specifically aimed at nonprofits, or maybe if you have discounts for people who work for nonprofits, because that's obviously it's a growing industry, and they've had a lot of hardships lately, specifically ones in the arts. But do you have anything around nonprofits?
Yeah, so we have scholarships available, discounts available for nonprofit organizations. We have a lot of we do some free webinars that they can participate in as well as we have a couple symposiums that are lower cost. We have an ethical leadership symposium coming up, that's $75, a diversity inclusion one that's coming up, that's $99. So there's a lot of options out there. I mean, the best thing to do is reach out to our group, and we want to make sure our biggest focus is that you're getting the education that you need. And so we want to partner with you. We want to partner with the community in those efforts. So, let us know, but scholarships and discounts available.
Excellent. Well, and speaking of discounts, and I know Lauren knows this, but you alumni get certain discounts, not on everything, but on certain classes, I think both at professional ed and executive education. But Lauren, do you have any specific that you could talk about? I'm sure we'd have some alums that are interested in a discount.
Yes, so we partner with the Alumni Association to offer 10% discounts on professional education classes. You can access those up to the minute discounts through Alumni Fire and the alumni emails that come out, so pay attention to those. But we do offer discounts on those classes. The only ones we don't discount are the coding boot camps or any of our boot camps, just because that's a big discount. So there are scholarships and loans that are available for those programs.
Excellent. How about Brooke? Brooke, do you have anything for us?
Oh yeah, I'm a University of Utah alum. I wouldn't work for a place that wouldn't give you a discount. So we do have our 20% off alumni discount. I know that you're going to be receiving an email after this. We'll give you access to that discount for individuals that are University of Utah alum. Additionally, we have a kind of I call it the more the merrier discount. The more people that you have come take our courses, we're willing to work with you and try to get a group discount for that organization as much as we can.
No, that's great. Thank you. And I also think too, and maybe I'm out of line here, but Lauren, are there OSHER discounts still?
Oh, yes. So the Osher Lifelong Learning Institute gives alumni a 50% discount. So we want to keep alumni engaged forever. And so 50% off all Osher classes. And you can just find that on the alumni website and the University of Utah Continuing Ed Osher website.
Well, and thank you for that. And on behalf of all you alumni, that's very nice of you. Thank you.
It's really a pleasure. It really is.
So I did. Let's see what any more questions. I urge, if you are on YouTube, to send in any more questions you might have. I did get a message actually from someone at the law school, and they wanted to remind our audience that we have the S.J. Quinney College of Law offers they have a 1-year Master of Legal Studies, which is a 1-year executive master's degree for people who deal a lot with HR, contracts, litigation, et cetera, but they don't necessarily want to invest the 3 years I think it takes to become an attorney. That's what you have, the 3-year, right?
It was 3 years. And if I had known about this master's of legal, I might have chosen that, because I'm not practicing law, but this is a great program.
I got to admit, I've talked to a few people that have taken it and really enjoyed it. So it's a 1-year master's degree in legal studies. And you can find out more about that too on our website and on the U website. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that. But let's see, the other thing I really wanted to ask about was I'm intrigued, and you've already mentioned it, Brooke, but the Women's Leadership Program. I think that's a unique offering that School of Business has, and I was wondering if what you've seen in terms of stories. So you already mentioned that one where it seemed to be a really good ROI for everyone who was taking it. But do you have any other details about that program, and how long is it? Is it all one big long program, or can you kind of piecemeal it?
Yeah, so we're revamping it for 2021 to make it very more women specific. So we want to make sure that you're getting those leadership skills as a woman that are really going to set you up for success in your career. And so it's a phenomenal program. This year, we still have a couple classes left. We have our change management in our women's leadership certificate and our charting your path to strategic leadership. And then 2021, you're going to see some new classes that come out that are more women's focused courses. And it's going to be a cohort style program as well. So it's going to be, you're going to start with the same people that you end with. But for the rest of 2020, we have 2 classes left that you're welcome to take and get a glimpse of what it's like to be in those classes. I've had I've had the opportunity to take those classes and be alongside some phenomenal women that have helped me so much in my own position and in my life. And what's great about them is they really build a community. We have a group of women that still meet. They meet monthly. They have a text group. They meet monthly for wine, and they have a book club. But they don't actually read a book, so they have wine. So anyways, but they call it book club. So anyways, they just really build a great network with one another. And we've seen people reach out for career advice, people change to a different company from someone that they've met through the program. We actually had one woman in particular that she was so inspired by what she learned in one of the classes that she went back to work and quit her job because she knew she was unhappy. And she felt that the skills that she learned and the confidence that she gained were going to be enough for her to get another job and to get another job quickly. And that's a huge growth mindset that it was phenomenal to see. And really, a week later, she got a job, but that was a lot of persistence on her end. And she made it work because she got a lot of the skills and that confidence that she needed. And that community that she gained from our women's leadership program. So it's a phenomenal program. We're excited to revamp it in 2021 to make it just that much better for the women that decide to attend.
Oh, excellent. I love hearing that story. And I also love the fact that, we were talking about this, but how important it is to tap into that alumni network, so the network, the women you meet, or just anyone you meet in any of the classes, but the fact that you can create a connection with them, and then that can lead to a job somewhere or a position. But I also, Lauren was talking about that, and I wondered if you had any examples of that where people kind of, were able to tap into that alumni network after they revisited the U, so to speak, in continuing education.
Yeah, so people will come back to the U, they'll get a certificate, they'll complete a program, And it might be that they meet somebody in their cohort or the class that just says, you know, we've been looking for this opening in our company, and you're the right fit. You know, we've done group work together. I really like what you do here. You've got to apply. I'll put in a good word for you. And then we have a lot of people that will come do a short skill training, and they'll say, I loved this. This was new to me. I had never explored this in my career. And now it's time for me to go get a degree. So I got my bachelor's in something else. I've done a boot camp in coding, and now I'm interested in my master's in computer science. And so people come and they figure out what's right, and then they pivot to the next step in their career, whether it's another degree or it's a better job opportunity. That network is one of the most important things in investing in yourself.
Yeah, no, the alumni networks, and particularly the University of Utah Alumni Network, I think is really strong. I've heard so many great stories about alums connecting and reconnecting years later. But like you said, the beauty of a cohort is that a lot of those people, those alums, right, because they're all taking the class together, they're doing something, and they're probably in similar industries, or they might have similar backgrounds. And so it's just a great way, if you're going to network, it's great to network within an educational cohort. And it's probably something you don't think about when you think of networking, but networking within a cohort can be really strong, especially if you're on a team and working together on a project. I think you really build some camaraderie, and a lot of times those relationships end up leading to new positions and new companies. I just have a couple more questions, but I really want to appreciate both of you being here, and thank you for that. I want to see if there's any more. I don't think we have any more questions coming in from the YouTube chat. I'll just make one more ask for that, but I think we're getting close to wrapping up, but thank you very much. The one last question I wanted to ask about was Skill Up. And there's been talk about Skill Up, and I know President Watkins has talked about it. I wondered if I think Lauren and Brooke too, if you know much about it. I'd love to tell our audience what the Skill Up initiative is about, and if you have any offerings around it.
So Skill Up is a great initiative that came as coronavirus was hitting Utah and we were seeing unemployment. And it's this great collaborative effort to offer no cost or low cost skill training. And it is across the board. So every university has a version of Skill Up. They have different classes that qualify that are no cost or low cost. Those of you that signed up for this should be getting a link to the University of Utah Skill Up website after this is over. But it's a great initiative, and it's been one of those things that we're so glad that we were able to participate early and let the community know we're here. We know this is tough, and the University of Utah is here for you all the time.
Okay. Well, thank you. And yeah, Skill Up I think is amazing. So, you know, it's unfortunate that we're at a time where we need that kind of thing, but I appreciate both executive education and professional education having options for those folks. So I'm going to thank both of you, Brooke Lenzen from executive education and Lauren Anderson from professional education for your time today and your insights. Please look at our YouTube description for links to their respective websites for more information, but we'll also have a follow-up email for folks who registered anyway for this, and we'll have some links in that. Also, I urge you to go to our website, which is alumni.utah.edu, and you can go to our learning opportunities page, and there are links to some of the courses that we were talking about today on that site, and some of the information on discounts too. So I want to remind everyone that our next Networking and Careers virtual event is going to be on Wednesday, September 30th at 4 p.m., just like today. And we'll be talking about retirement, which is something that some folks are considering right now, maybe at an earlier age than they had planned. And I think the change in the economy and some of the businesses, some of the things that are happening with businesses have forced people to either want to retire early or they are being asked to retire early. So retirement has become a topic that some people maybe weren't interested in 6 months ago, and now they are. So until then, I urge you to explore our website once again. And I thank you for watching today. I thank our guests, and I just want to say, forever Utah.